Cracking the female code isn't about charm, looks, or following basic advice you've heard 100 times before. It's about understanding the hidden dynamics, the unspoken rules, and the deeper layers of her psychology that most men completely miss. If you're ready to stop guessing and finally figure it out, here are 10 no-nonsense truths to help you decode her psyche and take control of the game. 1. Realize that women are strategists in relationships. Women think several moves ahead in relationships, often without even realizing it. If you think she's acting on impulse or purely on emotions, you're already losing the game. Women are constantly assessing your value, your potential, and your ability to meet their needs. Every interaction you have is being measured against an invisible checklist. Stop assuming her actions are random. When she tests you by being late, dismissive, or overly curious about other women in your life, it's a calculated move. She's probing for your reaction. If you lose your cool or overreact, you fail the test. But if you stay calm and hold your ground, you've just leveled up in her mind. Understanding this dynamic is key to cracking the code. Don't react emotionally. Observe, adapt, and respond with precision. She's not looking for perfection. She's looking for strength and stability in the face of her tests. The key is to always keep your composure, because to her it's a sign of leadership and confidence. Remember, she wants someone who can navigate her complexity, not collapse under it. 2. Recognize that her words are not her true intent. Here's a truth most men can't handle. What a woman says and what she means are often two different things. When she tells you she's fine, she might be boiling inside. When she says she's too busy to see you, it could mean she's waiting for you to show more initiative. This isn't manipulation. It's her way of protecting her emotional vulnerability. To decode her words, pay attention to her actions. Does she still make an effort to text or call? Does she find reasons to be near you, even if she's being distant? Actions always speak louder than words, but most men are too distracted by the surface-level narrative to notice. The mistake many make is taking her words at face value instead of noticing the patterns that reveal her true feelings. If you want to crack the code, listen beyond her words. Read between the lines, observe her body language, and notice the patterns in her behavior. Women are incredibly consistent in what they want. They just don't always say it out loud. She's testing to see if you have the emotional intelligence to pick up on the cues she's leaving behind. 3. Stop over-investing until she proves her worth. Here's the brutal truth. Most men give too much, too soon. You invest your time, energy, and resources into a woman who hasn't earned it yet. Women respect men who value themselves enough to wait for reciprocity. Stop trying to impress her with grand gestures or constant availability. Instead, set a standard. Show interest, but don't bend over backward. If she's interested, she'll meet you halfway. If she doesn't, she's showing you her level of investment. A woman who values you will want to contribute to the connection. She'll make an effort to show you she's worth your time. This dynamic forces her to prove her interest, rather than passively receiving your attention. Remember, women don't fall for men who chase them endlessly. They're drawn to men who know their worth and don't hand it out freely. Make her prove she's someone worth chasing. It's not about playing hard to get. It's about genuinely having a life and standards that demand mutual effort. 4. Use controlled chaos to break her routine. Most women's lives are filled with predictability: work, friends, social media. If you're just another predictable guy in her routine, you'll be forgotten. The key to cracking the code is to introduce controlled chaos. Suggest an unplanned adventure, like a spontaneous road trip or a surprise activity that pushes her comfort zone. Controlled chaos triggers emotional spikes, excitement, curiosity, even a little fear. These emotions are addictive, and she'll start associating them with you. Neuroscience shows that people remember experiences tied to strong emotions more vividly. By creating these moments, you make yourself unforgettable. But here's the catch. Don't overdo it. Chaos needs to be balanced with stability. Too much unpredictability can make you seem reckless, but the right amount makes you magnetic. Find the balance where you introduce something unexpected, but always keep it grounded in thoughtfulness and purpose. 5. Understand that women crave emotional tension. If you've ever been told to keep things simple with women, forget it. Simplicity is boring. Women crave emotional tension, the highs, the lows, the uncertainty. This isn't about playing games, it's about creating depth in your interactions. For instance, don't always agree with her. Challenge her opinions respectfully. If she's passionate about a topic, push back with a well-thought-out counterpoint. This doesn't just show intelligence, it creates tension that keeps her engaged. Emotional tension isn't conflict, it's contrast, the push and pull that keeps interactions dynamic. Emotional tension is what separates you from every guy who nods along and agrees with everything she says. When done right, it makes her feel alive in your presence. Crack this, and you'll never be forgotten. Women associate emotional experiences with significance, and if you can create those highs and lows, you'll leave a lasting impact. 6. Recognize that her past shapes her present. Women don't come into relationships as blank slates. Their past, heartbreaks, triumphs, family dynamics, shapes how they see the world. If you want to crack her code, you need to understand the layers she's built over time. Ask her about her childhood, her first love, or her biggest fear. Not directly, but through stories and conversations that naturally reveal these things. Pay attention to what she avoids talking about. That's often where the most telling truths lie. A woman's past reveals her priorities, her triggers, and what she values most in a relationship. Understanding her past isn't about fixing her. It's about seeing the full picture. A woman who feels understood on this level will open up in ways most men never get to experience. But if you're oblivious to these layers, you'll always be stuck on the surface. It's in these deeper layers that her true self and her real desires become clear. 7. Watch how she reacts to subtle boundaries. Boundaries are the ultimate test of mutual respect. If you want to know where you stand, set a small boundary and watch how she reacts. For example, tell her you have a strict policy about not texting during work hours. Does she respect it, or does she push back? A woman who values you will honor your boundaries because she respects the person you are. If she disregards them or tries to guilt you into bending, it's a sign she doesn't see your worth. Women respect men who have standards, but those standards must be clear and unwavering. Setting boundaries isn't about control, it's about self-respect. Women are drawn to men who value themselves enough to stand firm. Cracking her code means seeing how she fits into your life, not the other way around. Boundaries also communicate that you're not afraid to walk away if respect isn't mutual. 8. Test her level of effort in small ways. Effort is everything. If she's not putting in effort, she's not invested. Test this by stepping back slightly and seeing if she steps forward. For instance, stop initiating plans for a week. Does she notice and take the lead, or does she let the connection fade? Women who value you will show it through their actions. They'll initiate conversations, suggest plans, or simply check in to see how you're doing. If she's not doing any of this, she's showing you where you stand in her priorities. Her willingness to engage is a direct reflection of her interest in maintaining the connection. Effort reveals interest. Don't settle for someone who isn't meeting you halfway. Cracking the code means recognizing when it's time to walk away. Relationships thrive on reciprocity, and if it's one-sided, it's not worth your time or energy. 9. Pay attention to what she's not saying. The most powerful clues often lie in the silence. What isn't she saying? What questions does she avoid? What emotions does she hide behind a smile? Women communicate as much through omission as they do through words. For example, if she never talks about past relationships, she might still be processing unresolved feelings. If she avoids discussing her future, she might not see you in it. The gaps in her communication are as telling as what she openly shares. These silences often reveal her fears, insecurities, or lack of clarity about the relationship. Cracking the female code requires emotional intelligence. Pay attention to the subtleties, and you'll uncover truths that most men overlook. This is where the real answers lie. Learning to read between the lines separates the exceptional from the average. 10. End every interaction with intent. The way you end an interaction sets the tone for what comes next. Don't just say, "It was nice seeing you." Leave her with something meaningful like, "I really enjoy our conversations. You always surprise me." This leaves her thinking about you in a positive light. Women remember the emotional imprint you leave. If you end on a high note, she'll look forward to the next interaction. But if you're forgettable or indifferent, you'll fade into the background like every other guy. Strong endings linger in her mind long after the moment has passed. Endings matter because they linger. Make them count, and you'll stay on her mind long after you're gone. A well-crafted goodbye shows confidence, presence, and thoughtfulness, qualities she won't forget. If you have made it this far, let us know what you think in the comment section below. For more interesting topics, make sure you watch the recommended video that you see on the screen right now. Thanks for watching.